Die Membranen müssen im Gleichtakt schwingen.
Of course I knew there were boys and girls, but I didn't really know the anatomical differences.
Das hier ist der linke Kanal. Und das hier ist der rechte Kanal.
An easy life would not satisfy me, but neither I liked flying, or standing, or sitting, or laying.
Das war der Klirrfaktor.
Ich bin ein Berliner.
Hörspielfestival.
Hello and welcome to the Berliner Hörspielfestival. This is the 11th edition of the Independent Radio Play Festival, and tonight it's a real premiere for you. Not only are we going to be presenting to you for the first time the international edition, the Burning Mic contest, we are also for the first time coming to you live as a live stream all over the world. So this is a real premiere. This is Giuseppe Maio.
And this is Heidi Heidelberg. We asked you, international radio producers and sound artists, to submit any kind of radio plays of any language from 1 minute to 60 minutes of length to submit to our international contest. And you did. We received radio plays from all over the world, entries from Belgium, Canada, United States, Russia, France, Romania, Spain, Finland, Switzerland, Netherlands, and Germany. And we want to be a platform to discuss these plays with you, to talk with the producers. We want to learn and be inspired from each other. Wouldn't that be great?
It would. So it's really an experiment, and we start it today with the Burning Mic contest. We're going to present to you 6 out of the 30 submissions, the amazing submissions that we had to whittle down to 6 that you're going to hear tonight. We chose the freshest, the most daring, the most diverse that we could. And at the very end, my lovely assistant is going to show you what they will win.
It's about 2 things you would never find in any Saturn.
Saturn, if you're not in Germany, is your average electrical store.
It's not Walmart stuff.
It's not Walmart stuff. This is made in Bavaria. These are some beautiful headphones, which, to be honest, I'd have to say I'd be quite happy if we just close the contest now and I just run off
Just
with these.
be creative. And the second one is even more unique because it is...
Yeah, what is that?
Maybe just a minute. Can you see this? How does it look like? Looks like chocolate coated.
It does look edible.
It's an Isolationsei.
An isolation egg.
Well, approximately an isolation egg. What it really is and where it comes from, there is an expert, gladly. There's an expert who's going to tell you more about this unique item of radio broadcasting.
An isolation egg to me sounds like a goose or a duck or a bird that's being very, very good at their corona isolation and they're giving birth.
You can take it as this.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's
excellent.
Okay. So these are the winning.
These are the trophies.
So that's it? No, it's not. It's
That's not
it's
it.
not. What is it? The manuscripts, right. If you it's an English contest. Every play is either in English or in in Dutch. This is the second language. If you feel like you want to read manuscripts while you listen to this, to the single pieces, feel free. We have PDFs of all the scripts or all the transcripts of these radio plays on our websites. You will find them there.
On the Berliner Hörspielfestival website.
Right.
And there is one last question we'd like to ask you, which is, obwohl wir keine Deutsche sind, wir können eigentlich Deutsch reden.
Können wir schon machen.
We're aware that some of our audience, probably a large part, are all German speakers. If at any point you feel this accent's far too broad, or Giuseppe just has much too beautiful, sophisticated vocabulary for you, and you'd like a German translation, we can put in little snippets of German. So please get in touch on Twitter or on Facebook and let us know.
Just tell us. We could do this. But now is the time to start the first unique and only Burning Mic contest of the Berliner Hörspielfestival 2020. It's open now.
Now.
Heidi, what is the first radio play you're going to introduce?
So the first Hörspiel, the first radio play that you are going to hear is called End of the Line, Annie. This is a piece in which you're going to realise from the introduction that there's a massive process behind it, which is very, very crucial. You're not just going to be listening to the voices of actors or actresses, you're going to be hearing people who have a really personal connection to the story that they're telling. And they've told it in a very courageous way. So, without further ado, this is End of the Line, Annie by Andy Short and the Improbable Players.
These are true stories, adapted and performed by actors in recovery, brought to you by the Improbable Players. Addiction has a sort of terrible rhyme, taking so many souls before their time. Honestly, though, sometimes to linger is worse. You scrape by half alive, living a curse. Be sure to look in my eyes for the light. The first thing to go is the glimmer, the fight. It's a battle I lost a long time ago, before I had the choice to say no.
Mama? Mama!
Hush.
Ma, I can't sleep.
Annie, please stop crying. You know your mama gets headaches.
But Ma, I can't sleep. Can you come to my room?
Stop crying, please, stop. Shh. Here. Take this. It'll make you feel better.
I was 8 years old, so I took it. I remember it was dark in her room. All her blinds were shut all the time. She was sick enough that she couldn't leave the house, so she just shut herself inside, holed up. And that night I was standing in the hallway, outside her bedroom, crying, and she just couldn't handle it. She never could handle emotion. And I remember her always calling for more.
Hello? I'm calling to get my prescription refilled. It's under Alice Duane, Percocet. Try Smith. Yes, I'm sure this is the right pharmacy. Dr. Ellis sent it in. Oh, he hasn't? I meant Dr. Tucker at Beth Israel. Fantastic. I'll be over today to pick it up. Thank you very much. You have a good one.
And as long as she was finding a way to get her prescription refilled, I took pills from her. And eventually it was every day. I started to just not feel right without them. It's a miracle she never found out.
Annie?
Oh, no.
Come in here. Annie!
Mom, what is it?
I can't find my meds.
Well, where did you put them last? They're usually right on your bedside table.
Well, they're not here. I searched the whole room. Have you seen them?
You must have dropped them under the bed, or maybe you're just out of pills. I can drive to the pharmacy and pick up your refill. And...
No, that's all right. Don't worry about it. You can go. I need to call the doctor's office.
Hello? Dr. Ellis. It's Alice. I need a refill on my meds. Yes, the Percocet, same as always. I know it's a little ahead of schedule. You see, I misplaced the whole bottle.
What if she can't get her refill?
I know it's not the first time this has happened, but we're talking about separate incidents here. It does add up, Doctor. I'm explaining exactly what's going on. You're sorry? Well, so am I. I'm sorry that I'm in pain, and it's such a burden for you to do your job. Yes, Can you transfer me to the pharmacy? Hello. My name is Alice Duane. My doctor just sent over a refill prescription. You don't have it? You know what? I can be over there in a few minutes to sort this out.
Yes, I'm coming right over. You just hold on.
I just need to calm down. I need to get out of here. So when my mom started having trouble getting her prescription, I had withdrawals. It was bad. I couldn't sleep. I was having panic attacks at school. I just needed something else to make it bearable. So I started looking for a way in our own school. I didn't even try to be discreet. I just needed to get in with the right people. So I had to make some new friends. Hey.
Hey.
I'm Annie.
I know. How's it going?
All right. Stressed. I'm stressed. I mean, I got 3 quizzes tomorrow.
Sounds fun. Hey, you want a hit?
Sure. Thanks. Really, thanks. I needed this.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
I get high pretty much every day. It was just super easy to slip into the routine of it. And I tell myself I'm just a pothead, it's no big deal, everyone smokes, but it was really just a cover up for the other stuff I was doing. I was buying Oxy, pills off other kids at school, and I thought I needed them. Like the drugs were helping me live my life, it wasn't a big deal. And all these reasons that I used to convince myself that I was okay, I mean, that's what made it dangerous. Every night I take anything to make myself disappear. Feeling a little dizzy.
Well, I wonder why. It's not like you finished off all our Xanax.
Did I? I don't remember that. Shut up. I only took as many as you. Whoa.
Dude, you are so gone.
I also took some stuff I got off Maria. Could you give me some water? I need some.
Annie? Annie, hey, you want some water? Annie, wake up. You're freaking me out. Hey, wake up. Annie, wake up. Annie, oh my God. Hello? I think my friend is ODing. Hang on, I'm gonna put you on speaker.
You're saying she's non-responsive?
Yeah.
Sir, I need you to lay her on her side and check her breathing.
Okay. She's barely breathing.
Are her airways clear?
They seem clear. I'm not sure what she took exactly. I know she had Xanax, but I think she also had Percocet. I just found her.
Okay, I'm going to instruct you on CPR and just need you to relax.
Okay.
You need to tilt her head back and pinch her nose, then put your mouth over hers and give 2 quick breaths. Are you following?
Yeah.
Then give her 1 long breath every 5 seconds. Where are you located? I'm going to send an ambulance.
Annie?
Sir, I need your address.
Where?
Oh my God, she's awake. Thank you for your help.
Sir, she can still be in a lot of danger. Please stay on the line.
Where's my purse?
It's right here. Hey. No, hold on.
It's empty.
Well, good. You've had enough.
Excuse me? What's up with you?
Let me take you home.
Where are the rest of my pills?
There is no rest. Jesus. We're going back to your place.
No. Did you take them? Give me my stuff back.
Are you serious right now? Do you hear yourself?
What's your problem?
Every night, it's the same thing. Every single night, Annie. Don't you get tired of it? You've been telling me you were going to get clean since you were 14. Are you even going to try? You almost overdosed tonight. Yeah, you almost did. I'm not kidding around. I had to call 911. Maybe I won't be with you next time. What happens then? Annie, you need to wake up.
Do you hear yourself right now? Jesus, you sound like...
Like who? Huh?
Like everyone else. Like you're better than me. So full of it. And how can you tell me to get clean when you're just like me? In case you forgot, we hung out every night. And how can you say that when you know how it is for me at home? You know what my mom's like. I thought you were on my side.
I am on your side. I'm just trying to help. You. Which is why I'm telling...
Yeah, well, don't. I don't need your help. I don't need you to tell me how to live my life. Has
Annie.
this ever happened before? No. So it's a one-time fluke. That's why. I'm fine, and I take care of myself. You know I can. I've been taking care of myself.
This is not taking care of yourself.
You're a freaking hypocrite.
I'm not. I'm just trying to help.
Oh, really?
Annie.
Because it's not like you've been hooked since middle school. It's not like everyone at school knows you're an addict. And,
You know what? I'm leaving. Don't call me if you're just going to say trash like this to me when I'm just trying to help. And you know what else? You're going to end up just like your mom.
I'm fine. I'm fine. Boop, 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 boop. Shall we begin?
Yeah.
We're good to go? Okay. So, Abby, what was it like? Oh, introductions first. Okay. I'm Mercy Bell, and I play Annie in End of the Line.
I'm Abby Engler, and the story in End of the Line is based off of something I experienced.
So, Abby, what was it like hearing or experiencing that story again?
Definitely was an outer body experience. Nostalgic, lethargic. It's good to kind of see a few minutes of my life in a more artistic setting. I like it being framed that way, opposed to any other way.
Yeah, what is it about that artistic framing that creates such a different experience?
It's just more like raw and like stripped down to its core. Like there are details left out, but the most important things are in there, and it's just presented in a way that's simple, that I think a lot of kids can probably relate to. Just having a parent that's using and dealing to you and just passing along the cycle of addiction. It's just it just shows that dynamic in its purest form, I think.
Mm-hmm.
What is it like interacting with the other actor in that scene? Like being the younger one in that position, what does that feel like?
Yeah, I actually did the scene alone. There was someone there to provide the lines, but it was a really interesting experience to be sort of acting in the absence of the mother character and to be trying to relate all of those like emotions and reactions without her being there. And in some ways that was equally triggering because the dynamic I felt in that scene was like of a parent who wasn't parenting, like in some ways was there and wasn't. But more than anything, I was like shocked by how physically I felt the character. And in going back to that younger age, how uncomfortable, how vulnerable, how scary it was. And it was a baseline scary, like only once we're adults, or at least for me, only once I was an adult could I see how trapped I felt as a kid. There was like almost like a little moment of victory. Like when I walked out of the studio, I was like, okay, that's actually done. Like I don't live there. I can be there and experience it, and then I can walk away.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's one of the nice things about theater. It makes it like a safer space to like go there and then come out of it.
What are your hopes for the story?
My hopes, I want people to see it. It's scary and it's not always pretty and fun for me to see it, but it's important for the kids to see that it's not okay for a family member to be starting you on drugs and that no one should have to go through that, but it does happen and it's common. You don't need a license to parent. It happens to you and it's stressful, and you see a lot of parents actually start getting more high because of the stress of having kids. And it's important for the kids to know it's not your fault. You can't change your parent, you can't fix them, but you can change yourself and better yourself. Like if you feel like there's someone toxic in your life, it doesn't matter if they're your DNA. There's nothing wrong with walking away. You don't owe them anything. You owe it to yourself to get healthy. If that means like severing the connection, then sever the connection.
And so obviously you did stop. What changed after that bottom?
I did stop. What happened for me is I looked in the mirror and I saw my mom and I knew what her addiction made her, and it was making me the same person, and it scared me enough to scare me kind of out of the grips of addiction. I disconnected from my mom and I didn't look back. I lived with my dad for a while but was still using, and when I did get clean, I was very serious about it. I had this weird feeling. I saw people experience relapse and I knew I wasn't going to be one of them because I was so done. And I put like my whole heart and soul into it. I went to therapy. I did outpatient programs a few times. I started just doing artistic things to help me heal, exercising, like going to self-help groups. I was scared of what I was becoming, so I was willing to do whatever it took to take care of my health. And that's what made the difference for me.
Yeah, I can totally relate. So Abby, where are you now? Like in recovery and life?
I'm in a place that's a lot brighter and happier and more hopeful. I got 7 years clean on July 29th, 2018.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It was really exciting. And then shortly after that, I was able to go to a 12-step convention, and it was a world convention in Florida. I had never been to one, and there was like 25,000 addicts in the room from all over the world. And there's no place where I've like felt more loved and supported, and everyone was speaking different languages, and it was just really surreal.
Wow.
And when I came back home to Massachusetts, I got to come back to like this life that I've built for myself. Yeah, I have multiple jobs that I like. I work with kids, which is very healing. It's simple and it's happy, and it's really what I wanted for myself. So
yeah, I can like see it in your face. And it's funny, when I was playing your character, I just remember feeling like a claustrophobic feeling in my body. Like the world was so small. So it's so cool to see like you as her on the other side of it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Abby.
You've been listening to a production of Improbable Players. This episode is part 2 of our play End of the Line, which addresses the opioid epidemic. We use theater performances, workshops, and podcasts to address drug addiction. Improbable Players is a 501c3 nonprofit, and we've performed for over 1 million people and employed over 200 actors in recovery. To bring us to your community or to get involved, please visit improbableplayers.org.
So that was End of the Line by Andy Short and the Improbable Players. Also, wie ihr wahrscheinlich erlebt habt, muss man in diesen Zeiten von Corona ein bisschen improvisieren. As all of you, I'm sure, have experienced in these very unusual times, everyone is having to improvise a bit. And those of you that have been following the Hörspiel Festival online will have known that we usually speak to the author, the playwright, after we hear the Hörspiel. And this time, with the difference in time zones, we're going to have to delay that a little bit. So we will have an interview with Andy Short, but that will be happening after the next interview.
So we switch immediately to our next play, which is from Vivien Schütz. She lives in Brooklyn, New York City, and she's a producer of feature documentary, short radio plays, and podcast stories. And for today, she sent us a documentary piece of work in which we get to know a man who says about himself that living in a close relationship might just not be in his cards. So you can listen to Vivien Schütz, Not in the Cards. It plays a total length of 18 minutes, and we will be glad to have Vivien Schütz immediately after the play with us on channel. Enjoy.
When I was a little boy, I didn't really know the difference. Of course, I knew there were men and women and boys and girls, but I didn't really know the anatomical differences. I knew that girls had higher voices, although sometimes when a boy had a higher voice, it was hard for me to tell the difference, but usually I could tell. And then when I became about 14 or 15, I realized I didn't know. And I asked my mother, and she says, is this nötig to wissen? It's not necessary to know. Frag dich kein Schreier. Don't ask that question. So I think she didn't understand how little I really knew. I think she thought I was being a little bit of a smart aleck. So I asked some of the kids, and they thought it was funny because kids always laugh, and they told me things like, oh, you know, men have a penis and women have a vagina, but I didn't really know what that was. And then I had an aunt, and I was very close to her, my Aunt Sylvia, and she told me, and she explained to me that, you know, I had a penis, and a woman didn't have a penis, and she told me that women had breasts and men didn't. And then I started to realize that there was something strange about me, because when I hugged a guy, I felt kind of drawn. In other words, not so much sexually, but I just liked it. And when I hugged a woman, I liked the woman very much, but it was kind of like hugging a vacuum cleaner or a broom. And then I started to realize as time went on that I was gay.
I lay awake all night thinking of a plan to get in there.
She's sitting at the table talking to him.
She's being stubborn. And I called Larry, told him you wouldn't be in today. I just said you weren't yourself.
I guess it's the next day.
Boy, that's the biggest understatement of the year.
He's tiny.
How tiny is he?
He's smaller than a coffee cup.
Sure you're warm enough in that handkerchief?
He's in a handkerchief. He's wearing a handkerchief.
That's something I can fix.
What'd she do?
Oh, she put him in a mini suit. So now he looks like an adult in a suit, but he's only 4 inches tall.
I thought the vertical stripes would give you more height.
We've been working together for how long?
Several years, I think.
3 or 4 years.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm fortunate not to be totally blind, so I can help him with his tasks. I can't drive a car or take him, drive him anywhere. But in terms
none of
of
my helpers do that. So he can do anything my other helpers do.
Yeah, with the monocular too. It's it helps out. So,
Yeah.
but
No, he's very good.
No, he just didn't feel
up to
it.
I knew that was coming.
I was born prematurely, and they put me in the incubator, and they gave me too much oxygen. They didn't know back then, and the oxygen caused my retina cells, which weren't fully developed, to develop very quickly, but very haphazardly. And so when I came out of the incubator, I was blind. My retina cells were just a tangled mess. But the difference with me is some babies were able to see, when they came out, they could see like light. They could see difference between light and dark. Some people could see shadows, but I never saw anything.
So, Bob, I have my pen and paper ready.
Okay.
What would you like?
Okay. The first thing, get me a large, what do you call that? That thing?
The Windex?
Yeah, the Windex.
Okay.
Then get me, I know you have to stick your head in the freezer and I feel bad, but...
Not a problem.
Get me 2 Haagen-Dazs chocolates.
Oh, if I can't get the Haagen-Dazs, can I do...
Any chocolate is fine. Now, in King's Meat, get me, I just want to make me 1.5 sandwiches or something. Get me 2 mozzarellas.
2 mozzarellas?
1/4 pound of low salt boar's head turkey.
Is that all for the
Yes, and then
thing?
I want to get the my meatballs.
Cool. Maybe I'll do the shopping and then come back and order the food because the clothes in the dryer might be finished.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Sure.
Okay.
I will be back soon.
Okay. You have the card, right?
I have the card.
Okay. My life was basically with my mother and my aunts. They would take me for walks, or my mother would talk with me. My Aunt Tammy would sometimes read me Bible stories for children. My aunts and my mother were like my friends because I didn't have a lot of friends my own age. Here it's going.
Authentication failed.
It's not working. Sometimes that happens.
Password 012 FBL0. Trying 106.
Got it.
I folder index.
Now here's an email.
V message. A date from William Bravelli.
William Bravelli. He's one of my main helpers.
132 lines text shows it. Unknown 2. The following text is in the UTF-8 character set. I'll see you then. Happy Valentine's. Blank.
Sure, I'll see you then. Happy Valentine's.
And then there's a picture of what looks like homeless people on the streets.
How can you tell they're homeless?
Well, just sort of by the clothing, and they sort of look sad. Maybe they're just sad and not clothed right, but they got people like walking by them. I think that's their "don't walk by."
Oh,
they're
okay.
illustrating what you shouldn't, do.
I never had an LTR, a long-term relationship, or anything like that. There might have been people I would have liked them to be gay because I would have enjoyed maybe touching them and stuff like that, or having them touch me. But actual crush, no, I wouldn't say so. And sometimes I used to, a long time ago, before the internet, there was a magazine called The Advocate, and people would advertise. They're called hustlers, people who gave gay sex, and I would call them, and when I found someone who really sounded good, I would get together with him once in a while. But that was all that was the only extent of it. I just once in a while I would call an online chat group, but if I said I did it a lot, I wasn't sure. I really didn't, because I did. I find it hard to know what to say to people. It takes me a while to get to know someone, and in the beginning I find it a little bit difficult. So I wasn't the best at those groups, but nothing ever came of them. I never really met anyone. I was on a lot of email groups, and sometimes people said they were interested in meeting me, and a few times people came over, but it never really went anywhere. Once in a while I would meet someone and we'd get together a few times, but other than that, not really.
And message. Date from Bill Novick mail to Robert Feinstein, Harlan Penn. 134. Hi Bob, I'm so glad you wrote. I've been thinking about you too. Blank. I know I promised you the introduction to the book. The reason you haven't gotten it is that I'm still struggling with it and haven't got a. I'll see what I can find out about computers and get back to you on that. I don't think Windows 10 is stable enough. It's still possible to get Windows 7, which I like less than XP, but it's mostly okay. Glad the clock is working for you. Please say hi to it for me when it chimes the hour. Warmly back, and for once it's a cool evening. David, end of message.
It was a gay convention, and I went by myself. The convention was held in New Orleans. I was really hoping that, because they said there would be a lot of overweight gay people there, because in the gay community, sometimes if you're heavy, it's very hard to meet people. So I was really hoping I would make friends, and I would at least come away with some gay friends who I could keep in touch with and maybe get together with, and because I wasn't really meeting anyone, and I was feeling lonely, and I figured this would be a way to, you know, people always say, oh, you have to reach out, you have to do things, you have to try things. So I figured I would just do the best I could and go.
1:20. The following text is in the UTF-8 character set. Your display is set for the ISA 8859 1 character set. Some characters may be displayed incorrectly. Blank. Hey Bob. Blank. How about Wednesday the 20th? Or I could choose the 19th if that is better for you. Blank. Sorry I left that shirt around for so long, but thank you for holding on to. Blank.
I was sitting there and I was thinking about all the things my mother used to tell me when I was meeting sighted people. Because blind people, especially people like me who have never seen, have a tendency to do things that aren't like we would sometimes touch our eyes or rock back and forth. And sometimes when you're nervous, those behaviors come back. So I was thinking of all the different things my mother would say to me, you know, not to do. Sei ruhig, stay still, and Chepanis, don't touch. And I was really trying to be a model blind person who acted like a sighted person. I just kind of sat there almost like a statue. But when I saw people weren't talking to me, I tried to talk to people. I would turn around, I'd say, my name is Bob, and they'd say hi. And people ask me sometimes about my dog and what he could do for me, and they'd ask if they could pet him, and I'd say yes, but then it wouldn't go beyond that. My only consolation was my dog. I spent a lot of time in my room just playing with him or taking him out to the bathroom, and then people would help me a little bit. They'd tell me where I could find a tree or something like that. But I just wasn't making any. Now, there was another blind guy at the convention. We met, I don't remember how we met, if someone introduced us, and we actually played around a little bit, but we didn't really have much in common. He seemed to know more people than I did. He was very outgoing, and also he played the piano. So a lot of times he would play the piano and people would gather around. Like I told him I was having trouble meeting people, and he said, oh, he was having a great time, and he loved it, and he went every year. So I didn't say anything else. That experience changed my life, because it made me realize that I wasn't going to try again to go to sighted conventions, and I wasn't going to try to go to gay activities. And if I ever met anyone, au passage, as they say in French, it would be great, but I wasn't going to try anymore, and I never did. It was the same thing like when I go to gay bars, I'd never meet anyone, and I just decided that I was, as we say in English, barking up the wrong tree. So I never went, and I don't regret that decision. Hello? The what? Yes. I was sleeping, and then I woke up and I felt like a pressure on my chest, a very strong pressure, and I just knew that something was very wrong. Okay. Sunday sounds perfect. And I called my friend Kathy, and I told her that I didn't think I was going to survive, that something was very wrong, And then I called 911, and they came, and they took me to the hospital, and they treated me. They gave me what's called a stent, and that's a piece of metal that they put into the arteries to open them. And then I stayed in the hospital for a few days. And then when I came out, I really couldn't do anything. I couldn't even walk to the elevator of my building. I felt very tired. And then I started hiring people from time to time to take walks with me. And then I realized how alone I was. And eventually I got into starting to hire my helpers. I wear a special lens to make my eyes look better. And I just took it out because I have to wash it because it starts to hurt.
Oh, interesting. I was trying to figure out what color your eyes are. Are they blue?
Yeah.
Yeah, these blue eyes. It's nice. Not many people have blue eyes.
Do you want to see what it looks like without the lens, just for your interest? Or?
Sure.
1 second.
Yeah.
Now, you see the difference?
Okay.
I don't have much of an eye without them. You know how much these cost? $3,000.
Yeah, I was going to say probably pretty expensive.
And they were done by a German fellow. The German guy said to me, "You will not be able to see, but when you wear your eyes, people will think you can see."
Okay.
75727.
7.
Give me.
Kathy?
Yeah.
Hi, it's Josh calling from Robert's apartment. How are you?
Yeah, hi. Okay, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thanks.
Oh, what did you want to ask Josh about the computer? If you know.
I love the computer. Oh, do you know Windows 10 at all? The computer?
I do, yeah.
Okay, because I'm using Windows 7 right now.
I have a good friend there. Her name's Kathy. Kathy and I are pretty good friends because she taught me how to use the computer.
You would be able to do something like that?
I would do my very best to help, absolutely.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, Josh, doesn't he have a nice speaking voice? We don't really see each other very often, but we speak on the phone 2 times a day, 3 times a day. We love each other, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. Do you love me, Kat?
What?
Kat, do you love me, Kat?
We joke around.
We're imitating another blind girl that always says that.